بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We welcome you again to our last and final series with our Shaykh Waleed Al-Garadi, and he will be continuing on his topic of the biography of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And subhanallah, we've been through this month, and he has done approximately 3 series, and this is our last and fourth episode of the series, inshallah. And now I will hand it over to our Shaykh, and inshallah this final series will be a blessed one, and inshallah we all finish the lecture with greater knowledge, inshallah. تفضل Shaykh Waleed.
بارك الله فيك جزاك الله خير أخي أبا بكر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على المرسلين وعلى الصحابة أجمعين ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, my dear brothers and sisters. I'd like to take this opportunity and this time to thank you all for being patient with us during this series of the Seerah of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I know we've jumped from one place to another during the Seerah, because due to time constraints, there's only so much I can say, and we only have 4 weeks. And wallahi, we can spend, which I've spent in the past almost a year and a half, and we still didn't complete the Seerah. Subhanallah, several occasions we tried to complete the Seerah, and wallahi, it wasn't enough time for us to complete the Seerah. So for this Ramadan, we decided, instead of doing it every single day, and we're still not going to complete it, we decided to pick certain aspects from the Seerah where we can learn. And today, as it is the last of the Seerah, the last of the Ramadan series, for me in particular with regards to the Seerah, I decided today we will do the passing of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and inshallah we can get through it today. I'll try and go through it quickly and take lessons from it if possible. So thank you all for being patient, and thank you all for bearing with us. So inshallah, with that being said, we will begin with after the Hajj of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he performed his pilgrimage. He was in Mecca. And I'm sure everyone has heard of Khutbat al-Wada', the farewell sermon, or the final sermon. And subhanallah, the Sahaba called it this because there was over 100,000 Sahaba who performed Hajj with the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And many of them thought they're not going to see the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because maybe they're not going to come again the following year, because they weren't all from Mecca or Medina, they were from different areas. They came from the whole Arabian Peninsula. So they nicknamed it themselves Hajjat al-Wada', not knowing that this will be in fact the final Hajj performed by the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And during Khutbat al-Wada', the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reminded the people. He said, "Fear Allah in your women. Fear Allah in your women." And he tried to unite the Ummah. He said, the Muslims are brothers, meaning we are one family. And then he gave a warning. He says, do not shame me on the day of judgment. What does he mean by shame me on the day of judgment? He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that he will be standing at the well, at Al-Hawd, and the Muslims will come to him, and there will be those who are pulled away. And the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will call out to them, and he will say, they are from my ummah, from my ummah. And the angels will say, no, Ya Rasulullah, you don't know what they changed after you. And this is why when we take from the hadith and the sunnah, we take what is sahih, and we do not spread anything less that we know it's a sahih. We do not spread anything except that we have made sure it's sahih, and where it comes from is an authentic source. Then alayhi salatu wasalam called upon the Muslims to testify that he has delivered the message. And the Muslims testify that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has delivered the message. And then he called them to testify again, and they did. And on the last hour of the day of Arafah, Allah Azza wa Jal reveals the surah, or the ayah, I do apologize. He revealed an ayah. Today I have perfected for you your religion. Today I have perfected for you your religion and completed my favor upon you. And I have chosen for you Islam as your religion. Now, subhanallah, when Umar radiallahu anhu heard this ayah, he became rejoiced with joy. He was filled with joy and became happy. Why? Because to him is they have became victorious. It means Islam is now, or the Muslims are now a nation to be reckoned with. They are an ummah and they have completed the message. Where Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu understood this and began to cry. And when he was asked, why do you cry? He said, never is there something good except something bad will come from it. Meaning he understood that because Islam is now complete, there is no longer the reason for the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to convey the message, because he has completed his message. And then when they returned to Medina, so after the Hajj, they returned to Medina, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam gathered them all in the masjid, and he said to the people, he said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, I call you to witness that I am pleased with Abu Bakr, and I am pleased with Umar, and I am pleased with Uthman, and I am pleased with Ali. And he carried on until he named the 10 who have been given the glad tidings of Jannah. He said to them, O people, I bring you to witness that I am pleased with them. And I bring you to witness that I am pleased with the Muhajirin and the Ansar. Then he said to them, do not wrong my companions. And soon after he fell ill. He fell ill on a Monday, a day like this of ours today. He fell ill on a Monday. And he requested to visit the graveyard of Uhud, of the Shuhada of Uhud. And they carried him to Uhud, and there he greeted the Sahaba who have passed. And he began to cry. He began to cry when he greeted them. He said, I long to meet my brothers. And one of the Sahaba with him at the time said, Ya Rasulullah, are we not your brothers? He said, no, you are my companions. My brothers are those who come after me and believe in me without seeing me and they long to see me. They are my brothers who I long to see them. Then he was taken to Baqi'. He wanted to go to Baqi' to visit the Sahaba who had passed and are buried in Baqi'. And he gave them the salam, and he said to them, you have gone before us, and we will come after you. I mean, you are first and we will follow. Then when they took him back home, it was only a matter of time before he couldn't lead the salah anymore. And he ordered Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu to lead the salah. And he requested from his wives, look at the adl, yani the balance that he kept in his household, how just he was with his wives. He requested from his wives that he will remain while he is not well, that he can remain in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha. So they all granted them this, and he remained with Aisha radiallahu anha. While he was sick in the house of Aisha, and his fever became so strong and so powerful that the Sahaba, the people can feel the heat coming from him when they stand over him. They felt the heat rise from him. And this is something, the the prophets of Allah, they endured a stronger pain in this life than anybody else. And when they fell ill, their illness was stronger than anybody else. And this is a test and a purification from Allah to His servants. So one day he's in the house of Aisha, radiallahu anha, and he hears the Sahaba crying in the masjid. So he says to Aisha, what is going on? And she said, they miss you. They worried about you. So he said, okay, he requested them to carry him to the minbar. And he ascended the minbar. And he said to the people, he said, oh people, ayyuhan nas, it has reached me that you are worried for me. Oh people, my meeting with you is not in this dunya. Oh people, my meeting with you is not in this dunya. It is at the well. Wallahi, it is as if I can see it from here. Wallahi, I do not fear poverty for you. Rather, I fear for you the dunya is presented to you, and it is presented to you the way it is presented for those who came before you. And you compete for it, and it destroys you the way it destroyed those who came before you. And a servant of Allah has been given the choice to remain in the dunya or to return to his Lord, and he has chosen al-Rafiq al-A'la. And he has chosen al-Rafiq al-A'la. At this, Abu Bakr radiallahu anh understood, well, all the Sahaba didn't understand what's going on. And Abu Bakr began to cry, and he stood up amongst the people. And he says, Fadaka. He says, may myself be given in ransom for you, Ya Rasulullah. May my father be given in your shoes. May my mother be given. May my wealth be given. May everything I own be given in ransom. And the people around him began to try and calm him down and to sit him down. They tried to shush him. And the Rasul ﷺ became upset. And he said, leave me, my friend, leave me, my companion. What is the matter with you against Abu Bakr? Wallahi, there is none of you except if we had a fadl for him, we had something we owed to him, we have repaid him in this dunya. Except for Abu Bakr, I am unable to repay him, so his reward is with Allah. Leave my companion. All the doors to the masjid are to be closed except for the door of Abu Bakr. O people, then he continued to complete his khutbah. He says, O people, if I have taken from you your wealth, then here is mine, take from it. And whoever I have hit or harmed them, here is my back, get your own back. And whoever I have wronged, whosever honor I have wronged, then here is my honor, let him take it back. At this, Ukasha stood up and he said, Ya Rasulullah, O Prophet of Allah, you hit me on the day of Badr and you hurt my stomach. Now I want to get payback. The Rasul ﷺ raised, and this is justice, subhanallah, raised his shirt, raised his top, and he said, come ya Ukasha and take back what is yours. While the Sahaba are sitting, looking, shocked, how could Ukasha do this? How could someone do this to the Rasul ﷺ while he was on the minbar, sick, ill, and they can see the effects of the illness? And Ukasha goes up, immediately falls onto the stomach of the Rasul ﷺ and holds him and begins holding him and squeezing him. And he begins to cry that he wanted just to touch the Rasul ﷺ one last time before the Rasul ﷺ passes away. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, Allahu, Allahu in your salah. Allahu, Allahu in your salah. He's reminding the people of their salah. Wallahi, if the Rasul ﷺ was upon us today, what would he say about our salah today? Do we take care of our salah today? And here he is commanding them, he is giving them a reminder of their salah. Hold fast to your salah, O mankind. Hold fast to your salah, ya ayyuhal muslimun. He says, Allah, Allah in your salah. Allahu, Allahu in your families, in your kith and kin. I command you to treat your wives, the women of your household in good. I command you to be good to the Ansar. Wallahi, what good are we to our parents, to our families, and to our women? We need to take by the words of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. O people, I am but a human. Alayhi salatu salam. He says, O people, I am but a human. Do not do to me what the Christians have done to Isa ibn Maryam. Verily, I cannot help you nor harm you. Then he made dua for them one last time. Then he said, alayhi salatu salam, give to the people my salam and give them from me my salam. He said, give to the people my salam and from me my salam to those who believe in me from my ummah, but don't get to see me until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah alayk Allah ya Rasulullah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Rasulullah. Sallu alayhi kama amarakum Allah. Here is our beloved Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam giving us his salam. O mankind, retain your salam to your messenger. Allahumma salli wa sallim alayhi. Then the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was carried back into the house of Aisha. And then Abdul Rahman ibn Abu Bakr, the brother of Aisha radiallahu anha, comes in, and in his mouth is the miswak. And the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam looks at the miswak, and Aisha understood that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wants the miswak, and she takes it from Abdul Rahman, from her brother. She turns it, she bites a piece off, and she cleans it for him, and she puts it into the mouth of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Aisha radiallahu anha says, and this is from the blessings of Allah, that of the last things that the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam placed in his mouth is something from her mouth. The love and the blessings that she received. And then not long after, Fatima comes into the house, comes in, and she sees her father laying down on the chest of Aisha radiallahu anha, and she begins to cry, and she falls saddened, and the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam calls her over, and he whispers into her ear, and she begins to cry. Then he whispers into her ear, and she begins to laugh. And later on, she tells us that the first time he whispered into her ear, he told her that this is the illness which will take him. After this, he will pass on to his Lord. And that's when she began to cry. And then when he called her back, he said to her, and you will be the first of my family, of my Ahl al-Bayt, who will meet me. And then she began to laugh. And on Monday, so he fell sick 2 weeks earlier. 2 weeks have passed, and the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is in the most intense of illness, the harshest of illness. And on the Monday at Fajr, he wakes up and he opens the curtain and he sees the Sahaba praying, and he smiles. The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam smiles when he sees this beautiful image, this beautiful picture of the Sahaba at Fajr in the masjid praying behind the Imam. So then he returns back to Aisha radiallahu anha, and he kneels down and he places his head on her chest just below her chin. And Jibreel alayhi salam comes down, and with him is Malak al-Maut. And as he comes down, he gives his salam. He seeks permission to enter, and he gives his salam to the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam returns the salam and allows Jibreel to enter. And Jibreel says, here with me is Malak al-Maut. He seeks permission to enter. So the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam allows him to enter. Malak al-Maut gives him his salam, and he says, my Lord has commanded me to ask you if you would like to remain in this life, or will you like to return to Allah? And he says, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la. And he puts his hand to the heavens. He puts his hand up and he says, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, inna lil-mawti la-sakarat. And he chose Ar-Rafiq al-A'la, and Aisha radhiallahu anha, she says, Wallahi, I knew he will not choose us, and he has chosen to return to his Lord. For I heard him say, there is never a messenger, there is never a prophet, except that when Malak al-Maut comes to take his soul, he is given the choice. And here the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the choice. And he says, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la. And Aisha radhiallahu anha, she says, and he puts his hand up and he says, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, inna lil-mawti la-sakarat. And his hand becomes heavy and it falls and his head becomes weighty. And she says, Wallahi, there and then I knew that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has returned back to his Lord. And she opens the curtain and she says, yeah, she says, oh people, mad Rasulullah. She says, oh people, mad Rasulullah. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed away, and everyone begins to cry. And those who cannot stand no longer sit, and those who cannot stay conscious fall unconscious, and those who cry, and those who wail, and those who scream. And Abu Bakr radhiallahu anhu, he comes to the house and he holds onto his companion and he says, oh sahiba, oh my companion. He says, oh my companion. Oh my companion, oh my beloved, oh my prophet, oh ya Khalila, how perfect were you alive and how perfect are you now gone. Then when Abu Bakr came out to the people, he seen that Umar radhiallahu anhu had stood up and had withdrew his sword and he was threatening the people. He said, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not passed, but he has gone to meet his Lord, like Musa went to meet his Lord, and he will return. And Abu Bakr radhiallahu anhu, he calmed the people down and he told Umar radhiallahu anhu to sit, to refrain. And he said, Muhammad is no more than a messenger. Muhammad is a messenger, just like the messengers who have passed before him. Would you then, if he was then to die or to be killed, would you then turn on your backs and flee and on your heels? He who turns his back on his heels will do no harm to Allah, and Allah will reward him. He reminded them that whoever worships Muhammad, for Muhammad has passed, and whoever worships Allah, Allah is forever living. And this is when Umar radhiallahu anhu, he said, it is as if this ayah was first revealed to him right now. Subhanallah. When he was reminded of Allah, look at the patience in our Sahaba. As soon as he was reminded of this verse, immediately he surrenders to it. And then Abu Bakr radhiallahu anhu, when they went to prepare the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his burial, he said he heard the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, the prophets are washed. When the prophets are washed, when the ghusl is performed on the prophets, they are fully clothed. So they washed him while he was still clothed. And he heard them say that the prophets are buried where they died, and so they buried him where he was, and that is in the house of Aisha radhiallahu anha. And when they had lowered his body into the grave, and the people were gathered Fatima radiallahu anha, the daughter of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, comes in and she sees them burying her father and she says, Ya Anas, oh Anas, how could you bring yourselves to place the dirt upon your prophet? How could you bring yourselves to do such a... How could you bring yourselves to do this? And they all began to cry. And when it was time for the adhan, Bilal couldn't even finish the adhan. He began giving the adhan, and when he reached Ashhadu an la ilaha, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, he began to cry and he couldn't even finish. And Anas radiallahu anhu, he said, Wallahi, the best day, the brightest day that ever came into Medina is the day that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered into Medina. And the darkest of days, the darkest of hours is the day which he exited it. And wallahi, just like he was born on a Monday when the sun was rising, and he passed on a Monday just as the sun was setting, as if Allah is to say, this is what we have left for you. This is your days. And my brothers and sisters, here on a Monday, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed. Just like the day of ours today, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed. And wallahi, it is the greatest calamity ever to befall this ummah. No calamity will befall this ummah like the passing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I ask Allah that He gathers us with Him and He allows us to drink from His hands on that day and to enter us into Jannah and to allow us to see into His face. Wallahi, just like Allah has not allowed us to see Him in this dunya, we ask Allah to allow us to see Him and be with Him in Jannah. Ameen. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. My brothers and sisters, wallahi, the message is still alive. Even if the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has passed away, his message is still with us. And we should remember his message and we should spread the message. We should make sure this message reaches every single part of this earth. No household is left untouched except that the message reaches it. And wallahi, there will come the time, and there has come the time, and the time has come for the message to be reached to every household. And we should make sure that Sirat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the biography of this beloved Prophet, reaches every household, reaches every person. For wallahi, there is no biography or story for us to learn or to memorize or to live by except that it is here with the biography of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahi, the message is alive and Allah is forever living. Even if his messenger has passed, what he has left onto us is his message and the way to Allah. And he brought us out from al-dhulumat into the nur. He brought us out of darkness into the light. And we ask Allah that he accepts it from us. And in these last 10 days of Ramadan, لَعَلَّهُ خَيْرٌ, these last 10 days of Ramadan, perhaps in it is Laylatul Qadr. Perhaps in it, one of these nights is Laylatul Qadr. We ask Allah that he allows us to bear witness Laylatul Qadr, to stand with Laylatul Qadr. And may Allah save us from the hellfire. I ask Allah, my brothers and sisters, just like the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, on day of Qiyamah, when he comes on day of Qiyamah, there will be 70,000 who enter Jannah without la hisab wa la adab, without accountability or punishment. And he said, he asked his Lord to increase, and Allah gave with every 1,000 another 70,000. I ask Allah, my brothers and sisters, that he makes us of those, that he enters us into Jannah without accountability and without any punishment, and he accepts from us all the good that we have presented, and he makes it all for his sake, and no shirk is associated to it. And I ask Allah to forgive us any of our sins or shortcomings. And my brothers and sisters, thank you for being with us during this month of Ramadan. Thank you for bearing patient with us, with me in particular as well, during this month and during the seerah. And I ask Allah that he allows us to benefit from it. Wa jazakumullahu kulla khair. And I give you back to my brother Abu Bakr. Assalamu alaikum.
Barakallah fiik, Shaykh Waleed. Such an emotional and heart-touching lecture by you, and may Allah grant you the highest level of Jannah, and may Allah bless you and take everyone and the Ummah to Jannah bi'idhnillah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So, mashallah, inshallah, we have benefited from our Shaykh Waleed Al-Garadi. Me personally, subhanallah, I have started reading the Seerah as well, and it's like an endless story. It's so amazing. Every little bit has such amazing attributes, and people can translate it in their own way. We have different feelings. We are our own selves, so people find their own way to connect with the Seerah as they are in front of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And mashallah, Shaykh Waleed, he has connected with the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his Seerah and his life. And may Allah give him the highest reward. And Barakallah Feek, Shaykh Waleed, for your time and throughout this month, for your knowledge that you have given our viewers throughout this series of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam Seerah. Barakallah Feek, and we cannot thank you enough. And now, inshallah, I will finish it off by telling you about our upcoming programs throughout the day, inshallah. So at 7:30, we will have Sheikh Muhammad Al-Shari'i doing Feed Your Soul reminder. And as soon as that finishes, inshallah, we will have our daily recitation circle done by Dr. Muhammad Al-Dub'i, inshallah, binillah. Also, if anyone has any questions, please send them in at salam@liverpoolramadan.uk. And before I finish, I would kindly ask you to please donate to our masajid, as they are in need and they don't have the resources that they usually have at the moment. So please donate to our masajid, and inshallah you can visit our website liverpoolramadan.uk, and inshallah when you scroll to the bottom you will find the links there. You can donate to our local masajid bi'idhnillah. And barakallah fikum for coming and joining us with our Shaykh Waleed and having such a beneficial lecture. And inshallah, we carry this knowledge from our Shaykh to our families, our friends, and also spread the message of Islam and Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And barakallah fikum for coming again. I have been your host, Abu Bakr, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.